Hey everyone, another day, another handheld, with this one being a new budget option, the Q2. The Q2, where apparently according to the box is where the happy hour starts, is a budget vertical handheld that floats around the $30 mark. It's interestingly trying to aim for being as pocketable of a design as possible, even having the left and right shoulder buttons as face buttons on the front of the handheld, which is always going to be a bit of a bold design choice. I'll grab the specs straight from the listing here, but there's a couple of mistakes, such as the internal memory being 128 megabytes instead of gigs, but otherwise it's stated that the Q2 has the Cortex A7 CPU, supports up to PlayStation 1, which to be fair it pretty much does with some slowdown here and there, a 1500 mAh battery, and a 2.8 inch 480 by 320 screen. There's no wireless capabilities here, and we've got a pretty locked down standard firmware option. Straight out of the box, the Q2 does have a budget look and feel, but the plastic used at least feels robust enough to survive a bump or two. Underneath we have the headphone jack, a USB-C port and the power switch. Otherwise, on the right side we've got the microSD slot, which is admittedly a bit fiddly to use, and on the left side we've got a volume wheel, which we always love to see, but unfortunately is quite recessed into the case, which makes it unnecessarily difficult to scroll. Overall, the Q2 shell is certainly a cheap feeling one, but not necessarily terrible. I just personally expect a bit more at this price range now, especially when comparing to the likes of Ambinix and PowKitty's most budget options. Control-wise, the Q2 definitely has more of an unusual, quirky setup than I'm used to. It doesn't have a dpad at all, instead opting for a switch-style analog stick, which in itself is a bizarre move and opts for only having the two shoulder buttons but placed alongside the front face buttons, which immediately limits the type of PlayStation games it's able to actually play effectively. The face buttons, despite being nicely sized and having a nice feel to them, all suffer from having an incredibly low profile, which impacts their responsiveness and makes them tricky to operate in conjunction with the raised joystick. It's just ultimately an awkward way to play, and this unusual setup would stop me from playing anything seriously on the Q2 at all. Turning the Q2 on, we're greeted by both its low quality screen and average stock firmware. As budget firmwares go, the Q2's isn't too bad. Very basic features are there, but you're not going to get anything in terms of cheats or optimization options, which is a shame as the emulation on offer is wildly inconsistent, with me experiencing all sorts of sprite issues with SNES especially, and audio issues here and there everywhere else. Anyway, I'll cut some gameplay footage now before summarising back up at the end. So ultimately, my take on the Q2 is that it's a budget handheld at simply the wrong budget. If it was available at datafog prices, it could easily be considered for a low-cost gift or a kid's introductory handheld perhaps. But at the same price as the R36S or the RG35XX, it just makes it impossible to recommend over those. That's it for now though, thanks so much for watching.